Blessings, people of God. We are live and in living color. Thank you so much for coming in. My name is Pastor Terrell Wheat, and we're going to talk about three signs you're following an undeveloped leader. And I know it's late, but I have to get this off of me tonight. And I know that you're going to be blessed by this. So as you are coming in, do me a favor, share this. Go ahead and comment, share it with the leader, a friend, because this information, I believe, is the kind of information we need in these days and times to really help us be everything God has called us to be. So, again, three signs you're following an undeveloped spiritual leader. All right. Y'all ready for this? Someone type in the chat ready. And we're going to just hit it. If you're watching the replay, let us know that you are watching the replay. Before I start tonight, I want to give a couple of disclaimers. Number one, this post tonight has nothing to do with what's going on in the body of Christ right now, the viral video. You know what video I'm talking about. I have not made a public statement on that. I've not made a post on that or anything. I've stayed away from that. And I guess tonight, this is the only thing that I'll say about that whole situation. If you're the kind of person and you're using someone's mess up to push your message, then I'm praying for you. If you haven't been saying all the things that you're saying now before this happened, then where have you been? Like, your message should stand on its own without having to be built on someone else's mess up. We're good for that. So, again, I've steered away from that. I have not made a public comment or post on that. And this tonight, what I'm sharing is not about that. Second disclaimer. Are you ready for a second disclaimer? Disclaimer number 2 is this. I have been blessed all of my life with exceptional senior leadership. And I honor and I applaud the men and women of God that God has so graciously allowed me to sit under, allowed me to learn from, who God has used to shape and mold me and make me. And the fact of the matter is, I would not be who God has created me to be, called me to be, without these great men and women of God. So this is not about any of the people that I'm connected to now or that I am was previously connected to. And really, reality is I'm still connected to all of my leaders. I got saved at a church in Chicago. If you're from Chicago, and maybe just from around the country, you would know Salem Baptist Church of Chicago. I honor Pastor Meeks, his wife, their family, the church. Man, they helped give me my foundation. My father in the ministry, Pastor Harvey Carey, wouldn't be who I am without him. So I honor him. My current pastor, who I've been with him for 17 years at our current church. And then previous to that, I was connected to him in youth ministry, Pastor John Hanna. I just honor him tonight and bless him. So a disclaimer, this is not about those leaders. I think they are exceptional spiritual leaders, and I'm still connected to them right now today. So let's get into this. 3 signs you are following an underdeveloped spiritual leader. All right. Sign number 1. Here is the first sign. These people, leaders, they treat people as product and not as children of God. So they treat people as product. That's the first sign. They treat people as product and not children of God. I remember years ago, growing up as a child, on Christmas, we would have all these toys, and we would be so anxious, barely able to sleep, because we were going to wake up and see that Santa Claus had dropped off some gifts in the hood on the west side, through a chimney that we did not have, and just all these stories that our parents told us. But the reality is, we just was so excited for these gifts, and so we will open the packages up, and then I remember having like all of these items that required batteries, so battery operated. So we would be putting batteries in, playing with these cars, playing with these little, helicopters, playing these little games. And after a while, with playing with these games, playing with these cars, playing with these things, they wouldn't work. And the reason they did not work is because the battery ran out. And so what we would do is, and I remember one time taking a car to my uncle, saying it doesn't work anymore. We just got this car. I don't know what's wrong. It's supposed to be brand new. He said, nothing is wrong with the car. Something is wrong with the battery. And so what he did was, we took the batteries out, we threw the batteries in the garbage, and we put new batteries in, and the car worked. Sadly, this is how many leaders treat people. They treat them like disposable batteries, right? They treat them as product. They have no plan for their development. Oftentimes when they're burnt out, oftentimes when they have a bad season, oftentimes when they mess up, they are disposed of because the mindset is they are disposable. So underdeveloped spiritual leaders treat people like they are products. And the interesting thing about having undeveloped spiritual leaders is, and the reason we have undeveloped spiritual leaders is because these leaders oftentimes have never been in a culture of environment where they are challenged to come out of their practices of their family of origin and come into the ways of Jesus Christ, come into the ways of the family of God. Additionally, many spiritual leaders come out of the world, and they get saved and get into a church or a ministry, and they're cultivated and trained by the ministry, and the ministry that they're trained in, or the mentor, the person that trains them, has not been trained themselves, has not been cultivated, has not transformed, and they are operating out of their family of origin. And so many times leaders treat the people that are following them like they treat their family. And oftentimes it's like you are a product. So this is important. They treat people as products, and they have no plan for their spiritual development. If this is blessing you, I got 2 more points. Do me a favor. I'm going to pause right now myself. Do me a favor. Go ahead and share this, share this. Go ahead and get this out here. I know it's late, but this is something I really believe that can help a lot of people. So again, go ahead and do me that favor and share this. I am doing it as well. Sharing is caring. All right. I have just shared. All right. Now. All right. So again, they treat people as products and not as children of God. They have no plan for their development. They don't care about them, and they only care about them as long as they are producing. As long as they are producing, we good. But the moment something happens, the moment they experience life, the moment something catastrophic happens, the moment they can no longer do what they normally did, they're cut off, they're disposed of, because the reality is they were only product. You also know that they treat people as product when you don't even feel safe. If you're in an environment where you don't even feel safe sharing your dreams, your vision, your aspirations, your hope, your assignment, if you are in an environment where you can't even share those things, where your leaders don't even care about those things, you know that you are a product, and your life really to them, I mean, it really doesn't matter. I know this is a hard thing to hear, but I believe that in 2022, that we have to be able to hear hard things and say, okay, God, and begin to discern what the Lord is saying in these things. And you have to be careful when you are dealing with underdeveloped leaders. And all of us throughout our lives have been subject to underdeveloped leadership. And the thing is this, one of the hardest jobs as a leader, and I am a leader in the Lord's church, one of the hardest jobs as a leader is to pick people and select other leaders to handle things. So you delegate some authority, you delegate some responsibility, you select other leaders to lead various things, and it's one of the hardest things to do. And it's something that if you're wise, you'll take time to do it, because if you put the wrong leaders over people, it can really be damaging to the souls of the people. Leaders should care. Leaders should treat people like they're God's people and not like their products. So the second sign that you're following or you're under an undeveloped spiritual leader is this: they take the credit when there is success, but they blame shift when there's failure. I want to say that again. They take the credit when the team is successful, but they blame shift. They point fingers when there is failure. I remember a time where something was going on with me, and I was a leader at that particular time. And one of my friends, something was going on, and he said, "Man, you probably should not accept responsibility for this thing that happened because you're not fully responsible for it." And I said to him, just like John Maxwell says, that everything rises and falls with the leadership. And so I took responsibility for it, although, there are some things that other people did that could have helped the situation, but I am the leader. I permitted some things. I allowed some things, and bad leaders, they take the credit for success, but they never own up to it when there is failure. And I've seen this so many times, underdeveloped leaders. And I always tell my team, and those who are on my team, they could testify to this. I say that we win together and we learn together. We win together and we learn together. That's how we roll. That's what we do, because if you are a developed spiritual leader, you understand that success is impossible without a team. It takes a team to succeed. And then failure is a team activity. And the leader is the main person that needs to take a responsibility when a team fails. If you look at a sports team, we just got done in the middle of, we're not even finished yet, but we're in the middle of the NFL National Football League playoffs. Every single year after the playoffs, every single year, what happens is you see a coach get fired, you see a general manager get fired. Why? Because they understand that when things don't go as planned, you have to look at the leader. But underdeveloped leaders, they never turn the mirror to themselves. They only look at other people to blame other people. And so here's a thought. Here's another thing that underdeveloped leaders do as it relates to blame shifting. They try to correct people, discipline people that they have not discipled. They try to discipline people that they have not trained. They try to discipline people that they have not taught anything. And so if you are a underdeveloped leader, it's easy to go around and using your authority, using your leadership to try to tell someone what to do, but not taking the time to train and develop people. Here's another thing that underdeveloped leaders do in terms of blame shifting. They demand success. They demand excellence, but they don't operate in excellence. They demand success, but they haven't shown a track record of being successful. Those are things that underdeveloped leaders do. You demand success, but you don't exemplify success. We have to, we have to do better. We have to do better. All right, third sign. Third sign that we are following an undeveloped spiritual leader is this. They don't pray. Underdeveloped spiritual leaders do not have a prayer life. And that's evident of how they operate and run the ministry. If the ministry, I'm talking about spiritual leadership here, I'm not talking about just leadership in general, like you may be a secular leader. I'm talking about spiritual leaders. If you are a spiritual leader, it is imperative that you are a prayer leader, at least to a degree, because we understand that prayer is the foundation of every Christian endeavor. We understand that Jesus is a true vine and we are branches, and apart from him, we can do nothing. If you're in an environment with the leader who never says, pause, let's stop and pray about this. We're trying to figure things out, that says, let's pray about this. If they're not opening the meeting with prayer, and it's not just some token prayer that we do just because we should do it, but it's genuine prayer where we're seeking the face of God, where we're asking God to help us, where we're asking for wisdom, where we are acknowledging God. If you don't have a leader who is prayerful, then the whole ministry is really set up for failure. We need spiritual leaders who are praying leaders. And this is why I believe that every leader, to at least a small degree, needs to be developed in their prayer life. It's impossible to be spiritual and not be vitally connected to God. It's impossible. It's very difficult to succeed in an endeavor. It may seem like a natural endeavor, but these are spiritual endeavors. It's very difficult, nearly impossible to win in spiritual endeavors without prayer. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes God is so gracious that when we don't pray, he knows how to have other people pray for us. And that's just how God is. He knows that we're, underdeveloped and haven't developed a prayer strategy and plan for the things we're doing. So God to have some intercessor somewhere, some old man, some old lady, some young man, some young lady somewhere praying, some church, some organization that are just praying for success in a particular region or as relates to a certain endeavor. But undeveloped spiritual leaders do not lead with prayer. That's mainly why I wrote the book, Innovative Prayer Leader, to help people develop a life-changing culture of prayer in their ministries. So those are the three things I want you to watch out for. Watch out for leaders who treat people as products. And if you're a leader, you cannot treat people as products. You have to treat people as children of God. You cannot take credit for success. Watch out for people who always try to take credit for success, but never want to take responsibility for failure. And then watch out for leaders who don't pray, who don't call the team into prayer. And so here's a question. What do you do when we're in those environments and we're under those kinds of leaders? What do you do? It kind of depends. So I'll do another video on that to cover that. It kind of depends. What do you do when you find yourself being under an underdeveloped spiritual leader? So we'll do another video on that at some point. I pray this blessed you. If it did, go ahead, like, share, comment, share this with the leader, share this with your friend. And I thank God for each of you. I know it's late, so I'm glad that you all were up. And have a great rest of your night. And I'll see you soon. All right, peace.